Algebra of Happiness, the lanes within which we are comfortable operating. I found that I've gotten older. I have a certain algorithm or a path that involves the types of activities, the places, and the people I want to do things with. And I have become less and less open to new activities, whether it's going on a boat ride around Manhattan, which I was invited to do yesterday and I said no, whether it's investing in a new friendship that could evolve into something. I just kind of have my gig. And I noticed specifically with someone older in my life that she has become somewhat agoraphobic, that she doesn't like to leave the house, is only comfortable being around certain people. We talked about doing a 70th birthday party for this individual, and she did not want to do it. And what I've noticed is, and I recognize this in myself, that as we get older, we find the things that we like and we become more fearful. And I don't know if it's less comfortable or more fearful. And this is your brain telling you it's time to die, that it's the unexpected, that it's new relationships, that it's new stimulation that force our brain to adapt, to be malleable, to release a hormone, to get a rush of the right chemicals in the morning, to get the cortisol, whatever it is, going. And if you want to live longer and you want to be healthy and you want to lead a rewarding life, you need to constantly take the time to stop, push out your arms, and make sure that the lanes and the guardrails within which you are comfortable operating get pushed out and don't close in on you. It is very easy to decide, I want to stay at home, I only want to interact with the following people, and I want to maintain the certain types of experiences, whether it's food or relationships or even the emotions I feel. You need to get out there. And this is something that old people need to do, or people my age need to do, to live longer and really enjoy life. And this is absolutely something you have to do as a young person. Nothing wonderful will happen to you if you do not constantly push those borders out and go to different places and open yourself to different types of relationships and be willing to explore friendships with people that you otherwise think you wouldn't be interested in being friends with, that you don't take risks and meet people. Go to that party, go to that dinner party, try something new. Try something new. Force yourself. If you are not uncomfortable with the things you do, you are not going to have as many people in your life to love. You are going to die sooner. Push the boundaries out. Push the boundaries out. If you are not regularly pushing yourself to a level of uncomfortableness, to a level of a little bit of anxiety, you aren't living life. Push those boundaries out. Do something different. Be open to new experiences. Be open to new friendships. Be open to new opportunities. Algebra of Happiness. Our interview with Senator Al Franken, the thing that struck me, and it's borne out in a lot of research, is when we asked Senator Franken his advice to his younger self, he said, don't be so hard on yourself. And Adam Alter's a colleague of mine at NYU, has done some great research. He went and interviewed a bunch of people in palliative care, essentially people at the end of life, and asked them what their biggest regrets are. And regrets are usually a function not of the mistakes you made, but the mistakes you didn't make, or specifically the shots you didn't take, right? You can't make any shots you don't take. And one of the things that they also talked about, or the things they wish they'd changed, is they wish they hadn't been so harsh on themselves. And that is, the key to any long-term relationship, or a key to any long-term relationship, is forgiveness. And that is, over the course of a decade, 2 decades, or in the case of Senator Franken's relationship, he's been married for 46 years, one or both of you is going to screw up at some point, knowingly or unknowingly, and not be as generous, not be as thoughtful, not be as considerate, or just kind of be absent from the relationship. And you need to bring forgiveness. If you're always holding people to a certain standard or ideal in your own mind, you're going to end up divorced. You're going to end up with strained relationships with your kids. You're going to find reasons why your siblings are assholes, and you're constantly rolling your eyes and maybe not getting together with them as often as you should. So bringing a certain level of forgiveness to relationships is paramount in maintaining what is the asset for long-term happiness and reward, and that is a lot of deep and meaningful relationships. In addition, you need to bring that forgiveness to yourself. You need to recognize, and this is my favorite line that gives me a lot of comfort, nothing is ever as good or as bad as it seems. And when you screw up and you're sitting in bed and you're staring at the ceiling going, I said the wrong thing, or I wish I'd done this. I really screwed up here, and you're beating yourself up. Yeah, beat yourself up, but then move on. Give yourself time to mourn and be angry and learn from it, and then move on. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. I love Esther Perel's statement around confidence. That confidence is the ability to recognize you're flawed, to recognize you make mistakes, and still hold yourself in high regard. Hold yourself in high regard. Have a good relationship with yourself and bring forgiveness. Nothing is ever or as good as bad as it seems. Cut yourself some slack. You screwed up, but when you look back at the end of your life, and this is what the research shows, you're going to be more upset about how hard you were on yourself than you are upset about the mistake you made. Let me repeat that. The key is forgiveness. The key is forgiveness. Your mistakes are not the risk here. They're not what attacks your happiness. It's how you respond to those mistakes. Life isn't about what happens to you. Life is about how you respond to what happens to you. Bring forgiveness. Algebra of Happiness is something that Professor Cialdini said that really resonated was that, and Cindy Gallup said something similar that stuck with me, that the greatest untapped reservoir or resource is good intentions. I'm going to ask you to do something. The majority of our listeners are younger, and that is try and develop or try and get past the insecurity I had as a younger man. And when you think something, when you're talking to somebody and you think, wow, you're so impressed by their success, or they're so articulate, or you just think they have a great sense of style. Whenever you think something positive about somebody, try and be disciplined and say, hey, I think you have such an incredible sense of style, or wow, you have such fantastic presence, or what you've built is so impressive. Congratulations. I'm just so, that's just so impressive. It's a tremendous tool because no matter how successful people are or how secure you think they are with themselves, recognition is just an incredible way to say, I'm confident. And I'm confident enough to express my admiration for you. And I wish I hadn't seen that as a currency as a young man, and that when I acknowledged any positive attribute of another male, somehow I was giving up something, that it made me less impressive. What insecure bullshit. Now, I want you to take it a step further. I want you to find someone you love in your life, whether it's your parents, a family member, a mentor, and the next time you register something that's impressive about them, don't assume they know it. Yeah, your mom knows you love her. But when you think about what mom did, whether it was balancing work and family and how impressive that was, whether it's your dad's great sense of humor, if you want to have a wonderful moment with your parents or one of your parents or someone you love, take pause and say, Dad, I think you are one of the funniest people I've ever met. You always have been able to make me laugh. Or to say to your mom, Mom, I appreciate just how hard you worked and how impressive you are professionally. Just take that moment to push pause and articulate in an honest, thoughtful way how impressive you find somebody in your life. And I'm not exaggerating. There's a 50% chance that person, you're going to get tears from that person. We spend so much time with loved ones. We think they know how much you love them. But do they know how impressed you are with them? And there's nothing like hearing that from a child or someone that you care about, someone you love. Take that moment and assume just for a moment that, yeah, they know it, but they need to hear it. Take pause. Tell someone you love how impressive they are. Point to an attribute, show that generosity, show that love.